Okay, parte dos. In part 2, I'm going to talk about the evaluation criteria, the basis upon which you will be evaluated. And so you can see that we use a percentage. Okay, it's not the total number of points. So all online text assignments, which is kind of like a workbook lab manual, is 20%. Student engagement, participation, and responsibility within the course is 10%. Online oral dialogues is 20%. Quizzes are also 20%. You will have vocabulary and or grammar quizzes. You will have 2 language and cultural contact presentations, one at midterm time, one at final time, which will be a combined of 15%. And the only type of exams we have are oral exams. You will have one at midterm time, week 3, and final time, week 6, which will also be 15%. We do work on a plus-minus system here. So you could see anything above it, 97 is an A+, although I do sometimes work with decimal points, and so anything which will be a 0.5, so 96.5 would be rounded up to 97. Now keep in mind that extra credit will not be given. There is no extra credit within this course. Okay, so just to go through the different categories briefly, your online text assignments. Okay, this is the My Spanish Lab. Okay. There may be additional activities found in the Blackboard folder for that week, but they are few. Okay, now all of the My Spanish Lab assignments will be due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. and there is no late work accepted. Now you may be feeling a little inundated as there may be several activities, 50 activities due in a week. Do keep in mind that many of these activities should only take a couple minutes each to complete. They are very short. So do not let the number of activities due in a given week bring you down, because again, they are short activities. Okay. 10% is the student engagement, participation, and responsibility. Okay, you will be engaging within the course with other students as well as myself in a variety of different activities. You need to be respectful, proactive, and timely in your engagement and participation. Okay. In part 3 of the syllabus on pages 4 and 5, you'll see there will be a note on emails and how to conduct emails, because you will be required to write to myself at least twice during the semester. Okay. Online oral dialogues account for the 20%. So in weeks 1 and 2, and then 4 and 5, each week you will have 2 dialogues. You will have from week 1 to 3, you will have 1 partner, and then starting week 4, you will switch partners. Okay. Those dialogues are typically due on one dialogue on Wednesday and the second dialogue on Sunday. However, week 1, being that you are just getting used to the system, both will be due on that Sunday. Now, each week in Blackboard will show you what the 2 dialogue situations are. You will be given the dialogue topic then at the beginning of the designated week. You will have an entire week to practice with your partner. Okay. Now you can use Google Hangouts, you can use Skype with Screencast-O-Matic. What you do need to have is both of you on screen and the ability to hear the 2 of you. Okay. Now, while you have time to practice the dialogue, the one submitted for a grade should not be read nor memorized word for word. Points will be deducted if I feel that you have either memorized it or are reading it. And you are graded on your fluency as a beginning level Spanish speaker, the vocabulary that you've been learning, your pronunciation, the grammar you've been learning, and the content. Okay. Quizzes. Each week you will complete a variety of quizzes that will focus either on vocabulary and or grammar. They serve as a quick review of main points covered in the current or previous sections. And the grammar quizzes can typically be found in my Spanish lab on Blackboard, or I should say on Blackboard are the vocabulary quizzes. And these quizzes, again, are due Sunday nights at 11:59 p.m. and like other assignments, no late work is accepted. Now, twice during the semester, you will create a language and cultural contact presentation. And we have found that many students need more opportunities to practice their Spanish and to observe the culture of Hispanic populations outside of the normal course assignments. So each week, students will be required to complete 2 hours of Spanish language and cultural contact. You can do this by watching Spanish television. I've had several students in the past watch different series or films on Netflix. You can listen to Spanish radio, reading online or print materials, or conversing with native speakers. But you need to log your time. Okay, just keep track yourself. You need 2 hours per week. Okay. Then, on week 3 and week 6, you will be creating a presentation. This presentation will be a PowerPoint presentation with a voiceover. You can use Google Hangouts on Air or a similar activity or a similar tool, kind of like what I am using currently, Screencast-O-Matic. Okay. This presentation will be a summary of the activities that you did, and it will also include new and useful vocabulary you learned. Not just every vocabulary, but what's the vocabulary that is most useful within the medical setting. And third, cultural practices or nuances that you observed, and then you should compare and contrast those with practices or nuances in your own culture. Now, this oral presentation should be 5 minutes in length, okay, no longer than 7 minutes. And because you do not have the vocabulary or grammar to do this presentation in Spanish, it will be in English. Okay. And then finally, the midterm and oral exams in weeks 3 and 6. You'll have a student-instructor interview. Okay. There will be 2 parts. One part will be over vocabulary words that you have learned, and the second one will be a 4 to 5 minute conversation. Okay. Basically, what I will do is I will choose one of the oral dialogues covered. So if it's midterm, I will choose from dialogues 1 through 4. I will choose one of those for you and I to act out together. Okay. If it's the final, it will be dialogues 5 through 8. Okay. You will sign up on my Google Calendar link, and these will take place via Adobe Connect. Okay. So please let me know if you have any questions on how the evaluation is going.